Baba, I acknowledge that you're still there.
I am still there.
Oh, all right, brilliant. Good to have you still. Baba, I want to play you this clip and I want you to react to it. So watch this. This is a throwback in time. This is Nnamdi Azikiwe.
On Friday, September 5, 1969, I alighted at the Lagos airport at 2 p.m. and I spent the next 21 days in visiting the capitals of the 12 states of Nigeria, including 4 university towns and certain parts of the liberated areas of former East. It has made it clear to me that all of us have now realized the mistakes we made in the past by fighting one another. There is a general feeling, which is widespread, that all are now determined to turn a new leaf and help repair the damage we have inflicted on ourselves. Not only that, there is now a deep-seated desire to have effective central government which will hold the federation intact so that in the future no component of it shall be in position to challenge the fatherland. The world has been shocked that an enterprising people like the Igbo have been tongue-tied and emasculated, that they have allowed tyrants to blindfold and hoodwink them, so that in a war alleged to be fought for their survival, more than 1.5 million children of their country had died of starvation and disease. It sickens me to see the advertisement of skeletal Biafran babies on the pages of newspapers and on the TV screens, begging for charity and relief. It hurts my pride as a human being. His people offer to General Ojukwu. I wish he would have second thoughts and inscribe his name in contemporary world history as a brave soldier and a beloved leader, instead of disfiguring the pages of Nigerian history as another political impostor and petty tyrant.
All right. So that was the unmistakable image and voice of Nnamdi Azikiwe at that moment in time, telling us that Ojukwu was a tyrant to be expunged from the annals of Nigeria's history. So do you have memories of that period in time and the revisionism that is going on in that space?
Oh man. I break. You won't see this kind of video being shared by my brothers in the East. This was when Zeke returned during the war, because he was away when that coup happened. So when he saw that the tide is turning, he came back. Nobody locked him up. I think it was the second or third day he called that World Press Conference. He was given a soft landing. But there are dozens of other videos which the Easterners will reference, talking about a different narrative entirely. Where do I start in all of this? Is it Ojukwu himself claiming that we're killing people in Lagos? Or is it Chinua Achebe? I don't know where to start the lies, prominent amongst which, when you even tell people the dates, they always realize, but there are some that they just don't want to hear anything else. Prominent among the lies is Awo being released by Ojukwu. And Awo promised him that the West will secede too. That's lie from the pit of hell. From the pit of hell. Because Gowon did not become a head of state until Ironsi was killed by young officers led by the Ojukwu. Let me put it that way. And also we lost Fajri. So I think it was around July that power also was resolved. Gowon was sworn in July. It was Gowon that gave order that Awo should be released. Awo was in Calabar prison, and we all know till today it's only the federal government that operates prison. Ojukwu was governor of Eastern States, Eastern region then. Ojukwu was a governor. Biafra was declared 67. Awo was released from prison 66. So how did Biafra, Eastern governor met with a federal prisoner in Calabar? I know Calabar was also in the east then. These are the kinds of lies that they have fed this generation of the Igbos, and they are running with it. If you read There Was a Nation by Chinua Achebe, you will weep. A storyteller of that stature, of international this thing, will also be telling such lies. Because there's no way to call it. They are lies, outright lies. But what Zeke said here now has put paid to that lie. But how many of them will see this video and even believe it? They will trash him. Zeke was called a traitor during this period. They almost spit on his face. Their own revered Nnamdi Azikiwe. He spoke the truth. Ojukwu was very lucky. An Oxford graduate, masters, has a lot of white friends because he was a maverick during his days. So he mastered the art of propaganda, and they used it successfully. It hurts me that they are believing lies, and those things till today, I marvel because I know the extent we played. And just let me pause for a moment. Take hold of Ribadu. Don't let him escape your clutches. Let him be a very constant on this platform. We'll be hearing more from him.
You know what? Well done for saying that. I thought somewhat Ribadu was mishandled the last time he was here. It was put under undue pressure. I tried to phone him earlier, but I wasn't able to connect. But I have been exchanging text with him. I thought it was rough handled somewhat. Did you think it was rough handled?
I know you are a natural when it comes to diplomacy. Yeah. You can handle it. Please don't let him go.
Yes, you know, I don't want to scare.
He's a Fulani. He's a Fulani with a high pedigree. He is the grandson of a defense minister whose son today, that defense minister today, is our NSA and an uncle to young Ribadu, and his wife is a Fulani. I mean a Kanuri rather. The wife is a Kanuri. So he is a very, very, very
you know, he is a missing voice that we are missing here. We have a Maker, we have a Kene, we have Olajide, we have Thomas. So we have people from the South. We have Akim. So the one is that northern voice that you know. Yeah. And he's just the excellent voice. So, I really want to handle him delicately.
For anyone who is discerning.
Yeah. But carry on, yeah.
The West, I don't know what happened. The West, till tomorrow, in spite of everything, we still love the Igbos. Zik speaks better Yoruba than myself. Ojukwu spoke I will use better Yoruba than myself. Zik has great followers in the West. People like Tos Benson, Adeniro Ogunsoya, and a host of other prominent Yoruba sons. During the war, they lost properties all over Nigeria, the 12 states, only in Western states. And I always challenge my friends, show me one property an Igbo man lost. I know the danger we encountered with the Nigerian army by hiding people from Ika Igbo, because the people from Buzo, from Asaba, from Agbo, the Hausa soldiers they brought to Lagos classified them as Igbos. And most of these people didn't go back home. So they stayed. We were hiding them in our ceilings because they always come in the night to search. I'm telling you the truth. Hausa soldiers will come. We will open door. They will start searching. We will hide them in the roof. That's how most of them survive. But here we are. They say Yorubas were seizing Igbo property. They didn't give them back. That we even kill them and threw them from the Kata Bridge. It is really sad. Very, very sad. When Ironsi was killed by the Jukun man, it was in the West. Fajuyi, he was touring the states, and it was in Western region. And Fajuyi was the host governor when this Jukun and his crowd, I know all of them historically, they came, they wanted him. And Fajuyi said, you can't do this in Yoruba land. I'm his host. If you kill him here, what will his people say? No, I will go with him wherever. And they said, okay. They took Fajuyi along and they slaughtered him along Ironsi like goats. Like goats. Nobody is talking about that sacrifice of Fajuyi in the East.
And again, sir, can you give account of what actually happened at Ore? Can you
say again?
Can you speak to what actually happened at Ore? Ore Inundo?
Ore, this is what happened in Ore.
You know, at the beginning, because Yoruba was not part of the war, and then Yoruba wasn't part of that war, because
no, Yoruba Banjo was the one who led from the east.
Okay,
he was an army officer. Because of the coup of '66, he was implicated, so he was imprisoned in the eastern states. So Ojukwu released Banjo actually, and Banjo joined the Biafran army. He was a colonel. He was the one assigned with other officers to come to and capture the West. It was a suicidal thing. They gathered themselves. They were coming. They took David Ejo. David Ejo, who was the Midwestern state governor. Colonel David Ejo ran away. They overrun Benin.
Yes, that's right.
And came to Ore. It was in Ore. They were bogged down. That's why you hear in history in Yoruba land, they say, Oleku Ijaore.
Yeah, because in the record, I read it that a lot of people were killed. You know,
yeah, because it was a disgrace.
That's what made
they were recruiting people
and
Akinrade and Bajowa and Co. Because it was an affront, because they were coming to Lagos to disgrace us. You understand? They in fact bombed Lagos once. So all our soldiers, impromptu, in my presence, in some of the barracks in Lagos, they were just catching people from the street and throwing rifle at them and cutting them down to Ore to bog the Biafran down, because they were prepared. They planned it. And when they didn't succeed in Ore and made a tactical withdrawal back, Ojukwu was angry and accused Banjo of treachery. He was tied to the stake and killed, shot like an armed robber.
Yeah.
These are facts of history. I'm a witness to history. So when I look at times, I hear these things going on. I read, there was a country. I read it twice. I've read a Maker. I've read Dogs of War, because Freddie Fawcett was a very good friend of Odumegwu Ojukwu.
Please, can I quickly ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of anywhere or any place in the eastern part of Nigeria that the name of Adekunle Fajuyi happened to be my maternal uncle, where the name of Adekunle Fajuyi is being honored in the eastern part? Whether
Ogbeni, I just said it, that he sacrificed himself. They don't want to kill him. He has no dog in that fight. They don't.
Are you aware of any street or any...
Has it been honored in the
No,
East?
No, they don't even talk about him. They don't acknowledge that side. That's what I'm saying here. That's why I'm a little bit emotional. Now, why are they so stone-hearted?
And another thing that I want you to look at, what Ojukwu actually did. Adakaboro attempted the same thing. And
look, Adakaboro, I know I touch his flesh. I was just a 12-year-old boy. I touched his flesh because he is an uncle of somebody I was going to primary school with, Gibson then. So when he was released, I was at a party, young man carrying rice from one table to the other. You get my point?
Yes, sir.
Adakaboro took over from 3rd Marine Commando Brigadier Adekunle.
Benjamin
Adekunle, because being an Ijaw, he knows the creek better. Because he knows the creek better. So these are facts of the whole thing. The Yorubas really sacrificed. When they came back, I know the ones in my neighborhood welcomed them, did everything for them, introduced them to their tenants, those who don't know them. They paid them. I can't lie. They paid them. So this turnaround, this history, I will call it what it is. Fake history. Yes, they paid them 20 pounds. Yes, there was starvation. For me, starvation is a legitimate instrument, weapon of war. Even in the Bible, starvation was applied. Everything goes in war. Everything is fair in war. So when they are emotional and talking that they starve them and they do this thing, what do you expect when you go to war? In a brief, look what we are suffering today. Listen, people, listen how karma works. When Iransi took over, it was regional government. He had 3 people in his economic team for that 6 months he ruled. Unfortunately for him, those three people were Igbos, technocrats. They advised him on unitary government. He was the one who declared unitary government, which we are suffering till today. He was the one who introduced unitary government. I'm not wrong if I say it's all for selfishness. Because the agenda, whether we like it or not, is a fact of history. Sir Dadi Onyema, who later became a World Court judge, whose son was the first Nigerian to attend Eton College, was the one who propagates Igbo dominance of Nigerian space. He said it in an interview. And Zeke also propagated it proudly. That's why it will not surprise you if I tell you that the officers' corps during the 1966 coup, officers' corps, in Nigerian army, 66% of the officers' corps are all Igbos. The Yorubas were latecomers into the military because typical Yoruba family, Ufeshishe soldier, it's like, I send you to university to go and join army. Where did you put legal profession, medicine, architect, and things like that? Yorubas did not join army early. They did, and they dominated that fact. In fact, that fact was repeated during the Oputa panel. I've forgotten the name of that retired Igbo colonel. That he repeated it. He confirmed it. I've said it on this panel before. Even Ojukwu, against his father's wish, because a master's Oxford graduate, to join the army. The father refused, but because of that, he ran and entered Nigerian army as a recruit. Check it out. Ojukwu entered army as a recruit, dodged and went for recruitment. It was a few months later, his pedigree was discovered, and he was sent to an officer's course. So I don't know. We've never won. We didn't win one seat. We didn't win one seat in the East. No Yoruba even dared to go to his Eastern campaign. For what? We are okay with our space then. But NCNC we are active in the West. NCNC, that is the party, they were very active, and the Yorubas were part of it. They ruled. It was only when they wanted to expand and capture the whole West politically and become the premier that Awolowo opened his eyes, himself and the Egbeomo doers, and they showed him that when push comes to shove, the Yorubas will rise up to the occasion. They had more seats overnight, crossover from the NCNC Yoruba to Action Group side. And the NCNC in Yoruba land became a minority in the parliament. That was how we owned our space back and our region back. Nnamdi Azikiwe went back to the east and aligned with the north. That was how, in that government, he became the ceremonial president. These are facts of history. I didn't plus, I didn't minus. So this modern thing against Yoruba, I don't understand it. For the life of me, I get really perplexed that these people don't realize that we don't even see, we are race blind, or we are ethnic blind. Because as I hear, I don't see ethnicity. 1-2 hours ago, when my phone was like, my voice was down, the girls who came to meet my daughters, and they went out and came back, they were all Mesoma, Chioma, and everything. When I see them, how are you, girls? I turn my back, that is it. I don't see anything. Unfortunately, even for me, if I'm not proud of this, it is Gbadebo Vivo that opened my eyes to what my parents had been telling me. It's unfortunate. Mushabiamo, my children don't speak Yoruba language. To my eternal regret, they bear Yoruba names. Unfortunately, the surname Martins is English. So if not for that Yoruba name, they can't, because their mother is Igbo. Abostroke, Oguta. To me, the fairness in me, typical Yoruba man, even though she can speak Yoruba up to 70%, my aim as a young man then is, why should I impose my language in my household? So we speak English. Except when we want to do Ofofo, then she will speak in Yoruba. That's how my children don't speak till today. Even my second family, that's not even a Nigerian. It's only the Yoruba speak. But when the Bible thing came, I realized the depth of mistake I've made. That is the typical Yoruba person. We don't see ethnicity. So this hatred, I will put it raw. This hatred against Yorubas is quite, I don't understand it. I don't really understand that. These people believe this fake history they've been telling them. And I don't know, woman.
You know, there's an ongoing. You know where that clip came from? There's an
Baba,
Yes, sir.
even this threat against Yoruba, it was Zeke that even started it. It was Zeke that started this lies and propaganda against Awolowo, which translates into propaganda against Yoruba interests. I believe you still remember that effort that Awolowo made to make Zeke the prime minister, for both of them to work together.
How can I forget that? I didn't forget.
Huh?
I said I didn't forget. How can I forget that aspect?
Yes. He offered him to be the prime minister, and for him, Awolowo, to be the finance minister, for them to work together. But he turned around, having assured Awolowo that, yeah, we will do it. But he turned around to surrender
To NPC
to
in the
MP
north.
that came third. And
This
all
is
they
the
can
truth,
do,
Aya. This is the truth.
yes.
It's
And
documented even in England. It's documented.
and in an effort to destroy Awolowo, because Awolowo was fighting for the interest of the minority, not only in the West, but across Nigeria.
Even wanted to put a clause in that whichever part, north, east, or west, that want to secede can go calmly. Zeke refused.
He refused.
It's not lie.
So
Biafra will have happened for them easily.
yes, in order to destroy Awolowo's political interest, his strong political base in Yoruba land, he colluded with the North to charge him for felony, for treason. He succeeded in putting him in jail, slamming him in jail for 10 years. All of these just to...
And Jack Conde, all of them.
Like all of them
the only Ikaibo was Ajulushukwu, and Nahuru from Edo, and then Ikoku from the east.
So all in the effort to just let destroy his political base, and Azikiwe can take over Yoruba land.
And it was a Yoruba man that sentenced Awolowo, Justice Suchuwe Mimimo.
So he was the one that started it. It was Zeke that started that campaign against Awolowo and the interests of Yoruba people. And it's Yoruba, that gave him everything that he became in politics. Everything that he became in politics, Yoruba gave it to him.
Even the NCNC, was it not Pahabat Macaulay?
It's about Macaulay now. It's about Macaulay. So he never formed any party. Azikiwe never formed no party.
My brothers who are listening from the East, this is the real history. Forget every other thing you listen to.
He never formed any party. The NCSC was a Yoruba party. They handed it over to him after the death of NCSC. And even the Second Republic, the party.
Why did they though? Why did they? Did they
Yes.
not have ambitions for themselves?
No. Yoruba is accepted. It was accepted. You know, the politics of that time, they speak very good Yoruba. Even Pa Louis, that Dosumu area that goes through. I've forgotten my Lagos street, Dumagbo, and where Eleganza occupy now in front. They Pa Ojukwu, Louis Ojukwu Dumegu, one of the richest men there, made his money even in Lagos as a transporter. They have properties there.
I think the father was, I think it was the richest back then.
The Dan Tatars, even with the Dan Tatars and one other Yoruba person, they even own a bank as far back as that time.
Yeah. So even the Second Republic, the NPP was not Zouk party. It was Baba Adedino Ogunsoya that formed. It was the one that formed NPP. He brought in Zouk to come and lead the party, and for him to be the chairman of the party. NPP, that was the darling party of the East then, was not formed by Azikiwe. It was a Yoruba man party. So we should get all these things clear.
They may not believe, but this is the real history. This is the truth. This is the truth, but this is their narrative. But I want to talk of one thing before you took me this way. Please, panelists, remind me, did Chief Chukwuma Innocent follow Tinubu to India?
All right. Hold that question in abeyance.